Greetings, everybody. It's Artemis. How are we all doing? I hope everybody's doing well and dealing with the situation that we're all in and all that. But I'm going to bring you just a small video and all that. And this episode is going to be um, on Star Trek Stranger Worlds. Apparently, they've greenlit the new Captain Pike show and stuff. I'm pretty excited about that. I know there's a lot of people out there that are really down in the dumpster about it and stuff like that, and I'm kind of like that as well too. You know, um, I'm I'm really concerned because I'm sorry, but I think that Picard is a dumpster fire, and I also think that um, STD Star Trek Discovery is a dumpster fire and stuff, And what is funny is that you know these two shows were supposed to do well in the ratings and all that, and they are pretty much in the toilet. And from all indications too, CBS says that they're going to have a season 3 of Discovery and all that stuff, but Viacom CBS with this pandemic and this situation and all that, dude, they don't seem to be going to be coming out on top. So I'm even really skeptical about this so-called show as well too. I'm like, what is going on here? Because this doesn't make any sense. How you're greenlighting a new show, yet you've got stuff going on that looks like a financial disaster. Where's the money going to come from? Who's going to be in control of Viacom CBS? I mean, I'll be honest, and I've read that Bezos, the CEO and owner of Amazon, is a huge Star Trek fan and all that. He picked up The Expanse on Amazon Prime, and that is just a phenomenal TV show. If you have not checked it out, it's a little rough, a little slow at first, the first season and stuff like that, but just the physics and everything going on, the storylines and everything is just so great and stuff and all that. And just what they do in the show and stuff like that. They show the time dilation on what the time and stuff like that between Earth and other locations throughout the solar system and all that, and just the practicality and stuff like that. None of this, sci-fi out of the ordinary, and all that. So if you haven't tried it, try it. I know this is about Captain Pike TV show and stuff like that, but I'm wondering if Bezos could pick up CBS and all that. I mean, their library of shows alone, which Amazon doesn't have, I mean, there's a lot that's going to come out of all of this that doesn't seem to be, um, it just doesn't seem like it's going to be viable, you know, and stuff. We don't know where everything's going to end up, everything is so much in the air, but let's get back to it here. So I've got a few questions here and all that, and I'd like to hear your thoughts below about what your thoughts on it, all of it is, and stuff. I don't have a lot to go into and all that, but I want to make a video because I don't have really anything to really talk about and stuff. So I'm just gonna give my little bit of opinions and some thoughts and what maybe we need to look at, when and if this show does come out, So of course, everybody's going to be, you know, anybody that knows Star Trek and knows the original TOS era with Kirk and all that stuff, that Captain Pike um, is hurt and pretty much almost killed due to a situation that happens to him. His death, um, uh, severe defiguration of himself, stuff like that. And he saw a glimpse of this in Discovery and stuff like that, I guess, and all that. I don't exactly know how, but I've got to say, Anson Mount is such a good actor and stuff. He would be a great addition which he is now. He's a great addition to to the great captains of Star Trek and stuff. All that. He was on a TV show called Hell on Wheels, and I mentioned this when I had my other video about are we getting a Captain Pike TV show and all that stuff. And if you don't know about Hell on Wheels, it's about the building of the Continental Railroad from the East Coast to the West Coast to meet up in Utah and stuff. And he's like this train boss and stuff like that that's working on building the railroad and stuff like that. And he's an old Union soldier and or a Confederate soldier and stuff. And this is a really dark time. I mean, you've got Irish, you got Italians, you got Chinese, you've got freed slaves and stuff like that, free men basically, and stuff working on the railroad and all that stuff. It's I think it goes about 6 7 seasons. It's really good. Takes place in 1865. Between 1865 probably 1866 to 68 and stuff like that. It's got a lot of really good characters in it and stuff. It kind of reminds me of that TV show Deadwood and stuff. It really has that feel to it, but um, and it's got that historical piece and stuff like that. And of course, they play little liberties with it, but getting back to it and stuff like that. I I've got to wonder, too, as well about the the relationship between Spock and and Pike and stuff like that, how that's going to work because later on in TOS and stuff like that, you see that Kirk or not Kirk, I'm sorry, but Spock retrieves Pike and stuff like that and takes him to Tullus 4 and stuff and all that and you know why a Vulcan would use such a logical thing to rescue somebody. I mean, so there's a big dynamic. There's a lot of unknown as to why uh, Spock would go to these lengths that he does in old TOS to save Pike and stuff like that. Yeah, there's got to be something else there. Some people might call it a bromance or something, but oh, give me a break, dude. It's just BS. Um, so we do know from what we've heard, what little has come out, that this is going to take place about 10 years before Pike gets injured and before Kirk takes over the Enterprise. This also opens up an interesting phenomenon, too, as well, where we could possibly explore a younger Kirk, or at least come across a younger Kirk and all that. Or we could see characters from Star Trek Enterprise and stuff like that with Scott Bakula and all that. Like T'Pol, she would be old enough to be around for this era. Um, there's the Denobulans doctor that was on the Enterprise, stuff like that would be around too as well for this era and stuff. So there's a lot of callbacks and stuff, which I wouldn't have any objection to be honest. I think that it probably would be something interesting to kind of explore and stuff like that. But I also would like to see the show stand on its own without injecting past characters from past TV shows and stuff like that. I also too want to see them avoid big name celebrities and stuff like that too as well, like cameos and stuff like that, because I want to see a show stand on its own, and I just think that it's so fake and artificial if they don't attempt to to do something like that. And I just think that it's important for any TV show to do that. Like, if you haven't had a chance to check out Orville, the stuff made by Seth MacFarlane and stuff, it's a very good and stuff like that. And he brought in some celebrities here and there, but it wasn't, I don't think, to prop up the show as much as these are just past people who've worked with him on different shows and stuff. And he seems to rotate out a lot of his own people that he's used in other things. So I hope that that doesn't happen, to be honest, because that's what it seemed like they did with Picard. Picard seems to be a nostalgic show and stuff, and I like seeing William Riker, and I like seeing Deanna and all that stuff, but I don't know. The writing seems so just not right. So I don't know. It just doesn't seem like Star Trek, you know. So another thing too, I was talking about how like we could see past characters. Well, the first captain of Enterprise was April Robert or Robert Aprils and stuff, and he's only been shown in the cartoons and stuff. And we've never seen him on screen or in the movies. So that would actually be kind of interesting too, because you don't really talk about the first captain of the Enterprise and stuff. You know, maybe we could play with a little of, that captain handing over the Enterprise to Pike. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. I think it would be kind of interesting. Um, Another area too that I think that should be explored too. Um, what could we see from another character? And I know that the ship is not a character, Enterprise, but in many ways she is. You know, I mean, Enterprise has been around in our own world for almost, I'd say, a century now. The USS Enterprise and stuff, from aircraft carrier to space shuttle to there's going to be another aircraft carrier named Enterprise soon again and stuff. So and I might be a little off on the century stuff like that, but at least 70, maybe 80 years at least and stuff like that. In Star Trek, Enterprise has been around for centuries, of course. So I'm wondering how they're going to do it. I really had an appreciation for the modern update of Enterprise in Discovery and stuff. I know there was a lot of people with a lot of concerns and criticism and stuff, but I think it actually looks better than um, J.J. Abrams' movie Enterprise and stuff like that. And all that. I think the fact is, I think between Discovery and J.J. Abrams' track is J.J. Abrams' track is there's too much light. You know what I'm saying? And I think it took a little too much liberty with what the bridge looked like and stuff. Unlike the one in Discovery, it kind of focused more on the original aesthetics while giving it a modern kind of look to it and stuff like that. But I don't like how dark it is too as well. Now, I don't know if that's to kind of hide things, which seems to be the common theme when it comes to Discovery. It's so dark that uh, like they're just trying to hide something. I just don't understand that at all. So I think that's kind of it on that. I do have some concerns just in general because I'll be honest, I'm really getting sick of prequels. You know what I'm saying? And all that. Star Trek Enterprise with Scott Bakula, it kind of explored that and stuff. It was a little weak between season 2 through 3. I think that 1 and 4 were probably the best, with 4 being actually the best out of all of them and stuff. There was a lot of exploration there, and I really, really appreciated that. But to look at other things and all that, because, I really want to see, like, I'm a Star Trek fan, and I'm very disappointed in what Disney has done with the brand, and it looks like they're going to be exploring a new Republic or some type of Republic era soon, and I'm kind of concerned about that, to be honest. Um, Again, this is a prequel, and there's a lot to explore, but the thing is going forward with Star Wars just doesn't seem very logical. So, and then going backwards to Pike. I'm not sure, if there's going to be really a big appeal. And I'm not saying this to just to make it discouraging for you or anybody else and stuff. I think if you want to see it, more power to you. Just like I'm kind of curious, like I was curious about Picard and all that. But I also wonder if they've done so much damage with regards to Discovery that going forward somehow has done some irreparable damage to the franchise. Um, because there's a lot to go forward with. At the end we had Voyager, and so we had Deep Space Nine, and I think Deep Space Nine was the last of the two and stuff like that. But there was a lot to explore after that. They could have made a 20 or 30 year jump and stuff like that, and the Alpha Quadrant and the Federation could be in a different makeup by then because of the actions of what happened in Voyager to even Deep Space Nine with the Dominion War. Because I'll tell you what, there's a guarantee that there was a depletion of ships and crews and so on and so forth. What does the makeup of the Federation look like after that? You know what I'm saying? It's up. What kind of ships came out of all of that? You know, you can imagine they're probably pulled out a lot of old ships out of mothballs, or even ships that were experimental on that. You know what I'm saying? Putting cadets into captain positions and stuff like that in order, and all that. To the Cardassians, to the Bajorans, to the Alpha Quadrant, to Earth being attacked, to the Changelings, to what happened to the Jem'Hadar. There's books that claim that the Jem'Hadar uh, discovered or established a homeworld with the those guys that were always with them and stuff like that. I can't remember what they're called and all that, but I think that that there's so much there. I know some people say that they don't like Deep Space Nine, and I'm really kind of sorry to hear that because I think out of all of these shows, Deep Space Nine explored the most. It introduced a new, not captain, but a commander of a space station and became a captain because he lost his wife at Wharf 359, becomes a captain of a ship because it's in response to using a ship that was made to fight the Borg that can literally tear itself apart and all that basically to fight the Dominion with a freaking cloaking device. And then we get into a war. We've never seen war, what war looks like. And you bring in the Romulans, the Klingons, all these Alpha Quadrant aliens that we all know and stuff and love. And stuff. What's the makeup after 20 or 30 years? You can't tell me that it's normal or regular. You know what I'm saying? So it's there's a lot there to explore, and that's why I just don't understand why going backwards to Pike. And as much as I want to see that, because I love the my big thing is I like Rebecca Romaine and I like Anson Mount. Is I really like Anson Mount, and that's what really pulls me in on this. But I also, I don't know, um, I just don't know. But I'd really like your thoughts on I'd like to know what your thoughts are about because I've got my own thoughts. I don't want you thinking that my thoughts are everybody's thoughts because there certainly are not and stuff. I'm a middle-aged man and stuff, dude. I've loved Star Trek all my life and stuff, and I've really, really have been disappointed in what I have seen from the J.J. Abrams universe to even the new TV shows and stuff. It's just been an utter disaster. I'll tell you what, I wish I had the money because I'll tell you what, I would go to drastic measures to literally cut out. I'd drop J.J. Abrams universe. I'd drop everything that's going on right now and stuff, and I'd explore 20 to 30 years after the Dominion War. I think that would be good storytelling and stuff, you know. There's a lot you could do too as well. So again, I'm going to wrap this up. I want to know your thoughts below. Comment, subscribe, share, like, and also please support your YouTube channels out there and stuff. YouTube seems to be going through some weird algorithms and stuff, and it's hurting a lot of good YouTubers out there that can live stream and get payments and stuff like that, and donation stuff through Patreon and all that stuff. But I just want to put a shout out to all you fans out there. Keep up the great work. Don't get down on yourself. You know, we'll get through this mess that we're all in together as a world. And take care and live long and prosper.